What are things men have to go through, that women do not understand nor have empathy for? Disposability. The fact that men are valued by women for their usability and discarded when he is no longer providing some utility. This is a reality that every man understands. Currently, men are the ones expected to jump through hoops to attract women. He had to be the right height, make the right amount of money, have the ability to read her mind, so he can appease her. When he cannot read her mind, instead of seeing her having childish expectations, we are flooded with articles about how men have no emotional intelligence. We are expected to be the shoulder she cries on, and never the reverse. No matter how sick we are seen as though we are faking it, if she wants us to do something. To be right swiped we have to be damn near perfect, no matter how screwed up she is. All in the quest for a man to have basic human contact. And in the East, all of this is respected. In the West it is mocked. Today men are disposable. But I have to wonder how long it will last. Already lots of American men, millennials and younger, have basically said FK it. Not going to college, not going into the trades, not even having marriage on their checklist. Hang out with the guys, play video games. Begin edit. I usually don't edit my writing for sake of context with the comments, but I'm making an exception. I want to be specific about why I think men are treated as disposable. I want the women reading this to stop thinking about it impacting men and remember that it is impacting their sons. MIT, the British government and the UN checked male/female school grade tests. They ran the same tests through female Western teachers both with and without names, so in one set of results the teachers didn't know the gender. Results? Female teachers grade boys 1/3 lower than girls. First article of 2. When it comes to teachers marking, the study says there is a consistent pattern of girls' work being marked up. It suggests that teachers hold stereotypical ideas about boys' and girls' academic strengths and weaknesses. Second article, direct from the abstract. I use a combination of blind and non-blind test scores to show that middle school teachers favor girls when they grade. This favoritism, estimated in the form of individual teacher effects, has long-term consequences. As measured by their national evaluations 3 years later, male students make less progress than their female counterparts. Gender-biased grading accounts for 21% of boys falling behind girls in math during middle school. On the other hand, girls who benefit from gender bias in math are more likely to select a science track in high school. This mass impact and sexist attack on boys has resulted in male participation in college in the 30% range and dropping. Yes, that started with a 3. What was reported? Well, Bloomberg thinks it's a great thing for the wage gap. Girls have always been better at school. Now it matters more. Want to see how men are treated when they are being abused and call a domestic shelter? National Parents Organization. So who really initiates domestic abuse? NIH report. Differences in frequency of violence and reported injury between relationships with reciprocal and non-reciprocal intimate partner violence. Many men answered this question about being very concerned about having the police called on them for taking children out in public. But what is the reality? How often are children actually abused by men? Let's see what Everyday Feminism has to say. 45% of the total number of perpetrators were men. And 54%? Women. So why are we more concerned about men than women? Because you can hardly watch a single TV show or commercial that doesn't portray men as either evil or an idiot needing to be saved by women. Now let's see how this is all impacting children as a whole. Fatherless single mother home statistics, fix family courts from real sexism. Calm home. Despite what you have been told, in the West world today almost all legal and lethal sexual discrimination is against men. Men are 97% of combat fatalities. Men pay 97% of alimony. Men make 94% of work suicides. Men make up 93% of work fatalities. Men make up 81% of all war deaths. Men lose custody in 84% of divorces. 80% of all suicides are men. 77% of homicide victims are men. 89% of men will be the victim of at least one violent crime. Men are over twice as victimized by strangers as women. Men are 165% more likely to be convicted than women. Men get 63% longer sentences than women for the same crime. Court bias against men is at least 6 times bigger than racial bias. Males are discriminated against in school and university. Boys face vastly more corporal punishment than girls. 60 to 80% of the homeless are men. Women's cancers receive 15 times more funding than men's. At least 10% of fathers are victims of paternity fraud. 1/3 of all fathers in the USA have lost custody of children. Most are expected to pay for this. 40 to 70% of domestic violence is against men. However, less than 1% of domestic violence shelter spaces are for men. Starting to see why? This stuff cannot continue to be ignored. This is not about men v women, it's about men plus women and me identifying the long-term consequences if it keeps getting blown off because men. End edit. Prediction. In 10 years, sex dolls will be almost as common as a vibrator. They will feel like women, be heated, have AI software uploaded, and basic conversation skills. In 20 years, I'd bet they can walk around the house and cook. Heck, I bet they will even be able to sweat. It will be supporting, kind, loving. No hoops to jump through just to make it/she happy. An inability to take half of everything from him. The only way you will be able to tell the difference between a woman and one of these dolls, is that the doll won't think it's okay to treat him like crap. When this happens, women will need to pay for sex, because he won't even have a Tinder account. They will finally understand what it is like to be disposable.